Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the University of California, Riverside's online Master of Science in Engineering webinar. We're glad you could join us, and we know you're eager to hear more about the program. My name is Tracy, and I'll be facilitating today's presentation. Before we get started, I wanted to cover a few housekeeping items. First, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can use the Q&A box along the left side of your console. We do have time reserved at the end of the webinar to answer questions, and we'll answer them as many as time allows. The other thing I want to mention is this presentation is being recorded, and we'll send out the link to everyone that is registered in the next few days. So on our, let's get started. Our information session today will begin with introductions to our enrollment teams, followed by some highlights about the University of California, Riverside. Then we'll provide details about the course of study and wrap up with the Q&A session. So, without further ado, I turn this over to Ted Kaake.
Hi, my name is Ted Kaake. I'm one of the Enrollment Advisors here in California, Riverside for our online Master of Science in Engineering, and my colleague is David Chambers. Both of us take great delight in helping students. There's not much that's better than talking to somebody and determining that the program is a good fit for them and them agreeing it fits their goals and then helping them walk through the process. And that's essentially what we do. Our role is to, number one, answer any questions that you might have about the program, and then help you to determine if the program is a good fit for you based on your career goals. That being said, we are going to ask you a lot of questions when we're in a one-on-one conversation with you, and we don't do that because we're nosy. We do that because they often give us a much better insight into you and where you want to go, what your goals are. And the better we understand that, the better we can help you to determine if this is the correct program for you. Once we've done that, and if it is a good fit for you, we're going to walk you through the process. We're going to make sure that you understand what the requirements are to get into the program, and then we'll walk you through that application process. And in that process, we'll be keeping in regular contact with you so that you know what's going on and let you know if there's anything additional that we need throughout the process. At this time, I want to turn it over to my colleague, David Chambers, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about the University of California, Riverside.
Hello, everybody. This is David Chambers. I work alongside Ted Kaake in helping potential applicants move forward and eventually move on to do some great things in engineering. One of the things that we do here, in addition to making sure that the school's a good fit and that the student is a good fit, is to kind of introduce you to University of California, Riverside. We are one of the 10 schools within the University of California school system. And one of the things that the university is very proud of is our recognition for ethnic diversity. You'll see in our online program that not only do we cater to domestic students looking to advance their careers in engineering, but we also cater to students within the country and outside of the country. This program does also offer a global perspective, and this is something that we embrace as we move forward into increasing our enrollment. Currently, we are just under 23,000 students within the university. We are not too far outside of LA, but one of the things that's nice about University of California, Riverside is that our programs, we find them to be very great and very sound, but we also have some national recognition that we're extremely proud of. One of those is being recognized by U.S. News and World Report as being one of the top third schools in engineering. This is something that the Bourne College of Engineering is very proud of, and something that we extend to our students, and hopefully that lends to your ability to go out there and do great things in the field. In addition to those rankings, one of the things that we're also excited about is a new 2017 ranking by U.S. News and World Report as being one of the best grad schools for engineering. This is something that we do take a lot of pride in addition, and it's reflected in the fact that our faculty is connected to both our campus-based and online degree-seeking students to ensure the quality of your education is solid throughout and within. When we look at the program has a couple of different outputs here. We do really focus on the ability to incorporate some of the leadership into engineering. This is something that is often not found within the undergraduate level, so it's nice to have that incorporated into the master's degree, so that if you are in the leadership role or have a desire to go into the leadership role, there is some perspective into that, and you'll find that within the core classes that Ted will be covering here shortly. We also have 4 courses in the program that's going to really be geared around a specialized focus, whether it's enhancing an existing skill set or if it's an area within engineering related to what you're currently doing. We do give you the opportunity to really specialize the Master of Science in Engineering to help you achieve your long-term goals. And then in addition to that, we also offer a 4-credit Capstone Design Project. This is actually segmented in a way that you'll work on this over the duration of your program. And it's also another method that we utilize to allow you to have a specialized focus in the direction of your degree, making sure that it does align with what your long-term goals are. And right now I'll turn it over to Ted, and he'll get into some of those core classes of the program.
As you can see on this slide, we've listed 2 of the core courses. There are 4 core courses that everyone takes regardless of what your focus or your specialization is. And these courses make up the bulk of what we're referring to as an interdisciplinary program. As David alluded to a moment ago, there's going to be a little bit more of a focus on management and leadership than what you got in your bachelor's degree. And these core courses are going to focus on that: strategy, management, and leadership. In your undergraduate degree, you got the nuts and bolts of what it is you're going into. You already know that stuff. Now it's time to take it to the next level. Each of these 4 courses is going to take a fairly high-level view of engineering, regardless of what your specialization is, so that you can apply those leadership skills and develop them, management, and strategy, so that you can move forward as you move forward in your career, whether that's moving up the ladder or if you choose to go toward the PhD level. You've got a broader, more global perspective. The courses, as you can see, are engineering in the global environment. You're going to look at cultural differences that come up there. You have technology, innovation, and strategy. You're no longer looking at just a small part of a potential problem or looking for a solution. Now you're looking at how that fits in with other aspects and doing that across national boundaries in many cases. The introduction to systems engineering and principles of engineering management also take that into account. So you're going to be looking at a much higher level. And if you have, if you're going into one of the specializations that doesn't require an engineering degree, you shouldn't worry too much. You're going to need to be somewhat familiar with a lot of these concepts, but these leadership, management, strategy based courses are going to help you no matter what your specialization is. I'm going to turn it over to David now. He's going to go over the courses and the specializations.
Thank you, Ted. So our program has 6 different specialized paths that you can head down. Again, I want to reiterate that the program offered is a Master of Science in Engineering, and it will have that specialization listed on your degree. With that, I will go into our first of the 6 specializations, which is our electrical engineering, and this does have a heavy emphasis on power systems. This degree is designed for someone who is an existing electrical engineer and who is looking to, enhance their realm in regards to smart grid technology, power electronics, and starting to dive into market analysis in regard to power consumption and how that is recorded. Again, this specialization it's one of our most rigid as far as standards for admissions, but it does require you to have that solid engineering background, specifically in electrical. Second, we're going to have here is our mechanical engineering. Now, this is going to offer you a blend of physics and material science, and it's going to really get into sustainable product design, plasma-aided material processing, and of course some fluid mechanics. This specialization is really geared towards civil, mechanical, industrial, and health and safety engineers. Third, we have our environmental engineering. Now, like our electrical, this does have a very specific focus, and this is going to be on water. Obviously, our globe, the world here, is experiencing issues in regard to water and water treatment. This is designed to really focus on this problem and helping to find healthy solutions of converting water, treating wastewater, and finding ways to make sure that our globe does not suffer in regards to shortages of water. This is a great option for engineers that are within the federal and state agencies or for individuals that are looking towards working in this area. Our next specialization we have here is going to be our bioengineering. Very similar to biomedical. They usually, sometimes go hand in hand as far as the terminology. Bioengineering uses computational and experimental medical device fields to really go into cutting-edge research and to get into some instrumental methodologies. The bioengineering specialization is a great option for those that are looking to go into paths related to medical science, people looking to be medical engineers, or folks that want to work with medical devices. One of our newest specializations is our data science. Now, the data science focuses heavily on the evolving world of high big data. With this specialization, we're going to be looking heavily into machine learning, statistical computation, and data visualization. The data science specialization is a great option for folks because of the fact that it's very well-rounded and universal in use. Very common to see professionals use this in medical device and in the medical field, financial fields, communication, government-related roles, and even retail. Our final of the 6 specializations is our materials at the nanoscale. Currently, this is the closest option that we are offering at this time to a chemical engineering degree online. The Materials at the Nanoscale explores innovative practices and expertise across a broad range of nanoscale processes and application. One thing about this is the fact that it does explore cutting-edge research and design using nanostructured materials. You're going to go into chemical bonding. This is really something that is designed for folks that are looking to go into higher-level chemical engineering roles, medical scientists, material scientists, and material engineers. At any time, we do welcome any potential student to reach out to Ted and myself. We were glad to go over these specializations to, pair you with them based on your educational history, your professional history, and your long-term goals. Ted is going to go into the final stage of our program breakdown, which is the capstone, which again, with that specialized focus, this is another opportunity to kind of even hone that a little bit more into a specific direction and help you with your long-term career and educational goals.
Thank you, David. The Capstone Project is the final and 9th course that we're going to discuss, but it's not taken as your final course. It's done in lieu of a master's thesis or a comprehensive exam, and we've broken it down so that you do this throughout the program. So it's a 4-hour course, and you'll take 1 hour in each of 4 different quarters as you progress through the program. For those of you who are thinking about moving on to a PhD, this is going to be excellent practice for that because the progress follows that somewhat closely. In your first hour, or the first segment of this course, you will select a faculty advisor with whom you want to work. And so for those of you who are thinking about the program, it's not too early to start looking at those faculty bios on the website and see whose research interests most closely match your own. So you'll choose a faculty advisor with whom you want to work, and then you're going to begin working on that proposal, and you'll submit your initial proposal for your project in that first hour. In the second hour, you're going to do a literature review related to your project. You want to make sure that you're aware of all of the cutting-edge research that's been done so that you can build on that. In the third hour, you're going to take the results of that literature review and feedback from your faculty advisor, and you're going to do any necessary revisions to your project proposal, and then you'll get the go-ahead to implement your project. You can do that at your place of employment as long as your employer is open to that, and that is the third hour of the Capstone Project. In the fourth hour, you're going to write up the results of your project, do a self-critique. And in addition to writing up the scholarly summation, you're going to do a presentation. That presentation will be done via webcam, and that's one of the reasons that you need a webcam. At no point do you ever need to come to UCR, so you can do that presentation online.
All right. Well, thank you so much, David and Ted, for all the information. Now I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to think about any questions that they may have and go ahead and type it into that Q&A box. And for the people that joined a little bit later in the presentation, you may have missed the announcement in the beginning, but the full presentation is being recorded, so if you missed anything, you will get a link to that within the next few days to go back to the beginning and get all the information that was shared earlier. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes, and then we'll go through the questions for any duplications and then start answering them. All right, so we'll start with this first one. Does data science specialization students need to take the 4 core courses?
The answer to that question is very simple. Yes. The program is put together as a package. At this time, we do not allow people to transfer in any credit, and you must take the entire 9 courses. Everyone takes the 4 core courses. Everyone takes 4 courses within their area of specialization, and everyone does the project design course.
Great. Thank you, Ted. How does career experience weigh against a less than perfect GPA for your undergrad?
We do look for students that have as close to a 3.0 GPA as possible. However, there are definitely situations where an applicant can be considered based on other factors. Work experience is definitely one of those. We do also factor in any type of certificates, including FE, EITs, professional engineering, and we also take into consideration your GRE score as well. The admissions requirements is one of those things it's kind of hard to make a black and white, yes or no. It's usually something that we can determine in a conversation, going over your past educational and professional endeavors and really seeing how you pair and possibly providing you some next steps if there's any areas of opportunity.
We did have some questions about the cost of the program and tuition. Ted?
So the program has 36 credit hours. We do charge $833 per credit hour, which brings tuition to $29,988. There's an application fee that is $80 for domestic students, $100 for international students. And you should anticipate an average of about $150 per course for textbooks and an average of about $100 per course for proctoring fees. All of your exams will be proctored. Another reason you need the webcam, and you do need a scanner. Your total anticipated cost for the program will therefore come out to approximately $32,000 to $33,000.
Great. Thank you, Ted. The next question is a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering required for admission into the MS Bioengineering program?
That's a great question, and actually it is not. It is more likely that Ted and I will see applicants with a biology or chemistry background coming into the program. So by no means do you have to specifically have a biomedical or an engineering degree specifically for this specialization. And that's, again, something that when we have an interview with the potential applicant, we can kind of go into your background and seeing how well you align. But yeah, usually biology degrees, chemical degrees is what we tend to see.
A question about on the diploma, if the program is designated as an online program or not?
No, your diploma will not say online anywhere. The degree that you'll be earning is a Master of Science in Engineering with a focus in whatever your area of specialization is.
Great. The next one is just in general about the hours per week of lectures and maybe time spent for your classes.
Yeah, that's a great question. As far as the lectures specifically, the courses are syllabus driven, so they are going to be contingent on the instructor and what they have their desire for. The one thing I can tell you about the lectures for our online students is that they will be recorded for you and uploaded. You can watch them in whole, you can watch them in pieces, you can come back to them later. It does really afford you the flexibility of working these lectures around your schedule. And we tell students to expect to dedicate at least 30 to 40 hours of work towards each of their courses in the program.
Great, thank you, David. Looks like we have a couple questions about the availability of financial aid.
When it comes to financial aid, and this is a great question, I want to make this disclaimer. Neither David nor I are financial aid specialists or experts. However, financial aid is available for those students who qualify through the Federal Student Loan Program. At this time, there are no scholarships that are available for the program. So financial aid is available. I usually recommend that you check with your employer. Many employers will help fund in part or in full your advanced degree program as long as it fits with their business goals.
Great, thank you, Ted. The next question is about the length of the program.
The length of the program can be looked at in two different perspectives, and it really is going to come down to the student's capacity and how much you can take on to your existing schedule. At the quickest, the program can be completed in as little as 13 months. That's going to be based on having all the courses that you're needing running, as the online campus do run at the campus at the same time. And that would have you taking 9 credit hours per quarter for 4 consecutive quarters. What a lot of the students that Ted and I work with tend to do because of their schedules is they will take 4 to 5 credit hours per quarter, and that's still putting you at about a 2-year time frame for completion.
Thank you, David. The next question we have is a GRE required?
That's an excellent question, and the short answer is almost always yes. However, if you're going into the mechanical engineering specialty and you've got a mechanical engineering undergraduate degree and your GPA is above 3.0 and you've got multiple years of experience in mechanical engineering and you've passed the FE exam and earned your EIT, or you hold the PE designation, we can generally get the GRE requirement waived for you. Beyond that, we look at it on a case-by-case basis, but for the vast majority of our students, you will be required to take the GRE, and we can discuss that in further detail with you in a one-on-one conversation.
All right. Our next question is a little bit more specific. Is the environmental program managed by civil or chemical engineering department? Does a student with chemical engineering background need to take the extra courses?
That's a great question, and our environmental engineering program is ran out of our chemical department. And usually, Ted and I will see a lot of folks coming into this degree with a chemical engineering or chemical background. So usually there's not a prerequisite course that would need to be taken, but that's something that we can identify specifically when we have an interview with the student.
All right, I'm just filtering through the questions again to make sure that we've answered as many as we can. We have some questions about the upcoming deadlines. Right now we are working on the spring quarter, so we can talk about the spring deadlines.
Okay, for the spring term, we would want to see your application submitted by February 15th with all supporting documentation in by March 1st. In order to submit your application, you have to fill the application out online, be able to list 3 potential recommenders with their contact information, as well as attach your personal history statement and your statement of purpose. The personal history statement should talk about significant individuals or events in your life that have guided you to where you are, and include any significant challenges that you've overcome. Your statement of purpose should talk about where you want to go professionally and how you anticipate this degree is going to help you get there. So for the spring quarter, we would need the application with the statements and a list of your recommenders by February 15th, with official transcripts and other documentation by March 1st. We have an early bird deadline for the summer term for the application of April 10th. That gives us enough time if we go through and we see things that stand out, say on a transcript or something where we might need additional information. It gives us extra time to do that. The drop dead date on that is May 15th, and that would be for the summer quarter, which begins June 19th.
We had another question specifically about how many classes do we have to take to be registered as full-time students in order to receive financial aid?
For students that are looking to take advantage of federal funding via the Stafford loan, you would need to be registered for the 9 credit hours per quarter. That is going to be one of the caveats into selecting how many credits you'll take. Those looking to take the 4 to 5 credit hours per quarter would be looking at using self-funding, employer tuition reimbursement, or something outside of the federal government.
We had some questions about kind of support once you're in the program.
When it comes to student support and being able to talk to instructors and TAs, etc., it's typically very similar to what you would get if you were enrolled in a campus-based program. If you think back to your undergraduate degree and you had a question for an instructor and you tried to approach them in the few minutes before class or after class, you were one of perhaps a dozen other students who wanted to talk to them, and you all pretty much got the same response: make an appointment to talk to me. When it comes to the online programs, you will have the opportunity to schedule appointments with the instructors and or their TAs. You may be able to have that conversation by telephone, Skype, FaceTime, within the online classroom in a private setting. There's a number of ways that you can talk to them, including, of course, email. Typically, we find that students have as much access to their instructors in the online program as they do in campus-based programs, and as much contact as what they truly want to have. Also, you'll have a support coach. A support coach will be there to assist you if for some reason you're having difficulty getting in touch with the instructor or the TA. They'll advise you as far as what courses are going to be available in any particular quarter, and they're going to be there just generally to support you in any way that they can, because there's going to be times it's going to get difficult and you need somebody there to walk you through that. And we want to do everything we can to do that for you.
Thank you, Ted. So another question we have is, I want to take the mechanical engineering program, but my undergrad degree is in chemical engineering. My current job is in mechanical engineering, but what if any prerequisites will be required?
Yeah, usually when we're looking from engineering to engineering, there's typically not a whole lot of issue with that, especially if your professional skills do revolve around the area of engineering you're looking to go into. These are things that, we do clearly identify when we have that conversation, but in my experience, someone coming from a chemical engineering wanting to go into the mechanical engineering specialization typically would not have any steps to take other than meeting the admissions requirements.
Great, thank you, David. We had a question about an H-1B visa. Full-time working employee, can they take this program?
Because this is an online program, it has no effect whatsoever on a person's visa status. So if you're looking to change your visa status, this program will not assist. If you're looking to maintain a status, it's not going to affect that in any way.
All right, great. And that looks like we've covered the questions that we're able to answer immediately. I know there are a few outstanding questions. We'll go back through and look up some more information to get back to the more specific questions that we did receive. And again, the contact information for Ted and David are on this slide right here. So feel free to reach out directly to one of them if you've already been speaking to them. Set up an appointment, give them a call, but they can answer more specific questions. If you haven't worked with one of them specifically yet, go ahead and email the general phone number or general email or call into that general number, and they'll get you to the right person. So that is the time that we have for today. We know that your time is valuable, and we hope that this presentation has provided you with the information that you need to decide if the University of California, Riverside's Master of Science in Engineering program is the right program for you. If you have any other questions, like I said, go ahead and follow up with David or Ted directly. Like I said earlier, the presentation is being recorded, so you'll get that link, and you can share that with any other colleagues or friends that may be interested that were not able to attend today. And again, we thank you for your time, and have a good rest of your afternoon. Thank you.